Mark somebody.
Yeah.
It might be a combination.
Mark is correct. It is with a C, but it is Mark something.
Maybe it's Mark.
Yeah, Charlie got it.
Mark Quillen.
Yeah.
Can they say that?
Yeah.
There we go.
Winner.
Virtual round of applause for winning music.
Well, I think we can probably get started about 5 after, and we'll get going. People may join us, but that's okay. So we're excited to have everyone here. Glad you could join us. Hopefully we get a few more come in. A little bit of representation from every county, hopefully, but we'll get started. I'd like to introduce John Silfies. He's our special guest today. He'll be talking with us. He has some really great information we're excited to share. So I will pass it over to John.
All right. Well, thank you guys for having me here today. First off, like Julie said, my name is John Silfies. I know some of you guys I do not know. But first, we're just going to kind of go over the rules of the meeting today. That way we have a successful time and everyone gets a chance to talk, and that we just kind of keep it moving along. So first, you should be muted now. If you're not, go ahead and mute yourself. Renee will be muting you as you come into the meeting as well. So anyone that's new will be muted automatically unless you're called on. I don't want this to be just me talking at you the whole time. So if you do have questions or comments or anything that you would like to say during the presentation, you can use the chat box to ask your questions, and Renee will be monitoring that and letting me know if there are any questions. Or you can just raise your hand up in the sky real high, and we can acknowledge you, and then we can go ahead and let you talk as well. Just like as if we were in a big room and we were all here together, always be kind and courteous when other people are talking. So we want to make sure everyone gets a chance to speak and have their voice. And so the way that we do that is, again, just keeping ourselves muted and try not to talk over each other as well. We know that it's kind of weird being virtual. This is a whole new experience for a lot of us. And so we would just want to make sure that we give everyone the chance to talk in this super weird time. And then lastly, enjoy yourself. I hope that you guys get to know me a little bit. One of my favorite things is getting to know you guys and hearing your stories and hearing you talk. And so I hope today we just kind of enjoy ourselves and get to know each other throughout the time. So first, we have a special message from Renee. This is previously recorded. She's not actually there right now, but she has a special message from Auglaize County Board of DD. Let me press play.
Hi everybody, I'm Renee Place, Superintendent of the Auglaize County Board of Developmental Disabilities, and I'm here on this beautiful sunny day in Auglaize County at the Lock 1, which is part of the Miami and Erie Canal here in New Bremen, Ohio. Since you couldn't be here in person today, we wanted to share a little bit of our town and our community in Auglaize County with you. We miss all of you and we hope to see everyone back in person soon. If you ever find yourself in Auglaize County, we wanted to share with you some great sites you can check out. There's the Koenig-Dickey Nature Walk in New Bremen, as well as the Bicycle Museum of America. And moving north to St. Mary's, we have Grand Lake St. Mary's, as well as Casey Geiger Park with a mini golf course. And don't miss the replica canal boat behind town. Moving on to Wapakoneta, we have our historic downtown theater, as well as the Rock Garden and the Armstrong Air and Space Museum. We hope you find value in today's advocacy meeting, and we hope to see you all soon.
All right. Thank you, Renee, for sharing those things. I was able to actually go out and film all of those places, and it was a super fun day for me just to go around and sightsee. One of the things that I did learn, if you do find yourself in Auglaize County and have T-Mobile, you won't have any service. And so make sure you print out your map before you go and try to find these places. But it was a fun little scavenger hunt for me. And I think my favorite place was the rock garden. It was just some person's house in Auglaize County, and you walk into their backyard and you have no idea what to expect. And then you go back there and it's just this huge place full of rocks and sculptures. And you could spend literally hours just kind of looking at all the sculptures, and it was a ton of fun. So if you do ever find yourself in Auglaize County, I would say go check out those sites. It would make for a fun day, especially during these times where you can't really get out and do a whole lot of things. A lot of those places you can go and just enjoy the nature and all of the cool things there in Auglaize County. So go do that. It'll be a ton of fun.
Hey, John.
Yes.
Real quick, I did hear from one person that they asked if there was any static, if anybody else had any static, or they couldn't hear very well. So I don't know if it was just on that person's end. So I can try to look. Everybody here okay? You can either wave or thumbs up is good. Okay. So that person might just need to exit and maybe rejoin. I think sometimes can help with that. You could just, and I did open, there shouldn't be a waiting room anymore. So I did figure out how to do that. So hopefully that that will be resolved. So, okay, that's all I had.
Awesome. Thanks, Renee. Yeah, and if you guys have any like technical issues, feel free to continue to use that chat and let us know. But I'll share. I'm talking about the power of sharing your story, so I thought I would share a little bit of my story and let you guys get to know me a little bit. My name is John Silfies, which a lot of people get the last name wrong. It's kind of hard to say. It's kind of like taking a selfie, but you use an I, so it's Silfies, so it's close. And I am the public relations coordinator at WestCon, West Central Ohio Network. And we oversee 12 different county boards in the region. And I think all of the counties that are represented here in the meeting today fall under our blanket. And I work closely with 9 of those counties doing their public relations. So whether that's web design, creating marketing plans, shooting videos for you guys, doing a lot of different things like that for those counties. I started there last October and I love it. I've loved to get to know these counties. I haven't worked personally with a lot of these counties, and so it's been great to get to know everybody, get to see a new part of Ohio, and just kind of help get the message out in all of those counties. It's been great. I started out in 2011 as a direct support professional and an independent provider. I had no prior experience whatsoever in the DD field before I started this job. It was just a job that I took kind of on a whim, and I haven't turned back since. I worked for Fairfield County Board of DD as a direct support professional there at their day program, and I was hooked on day one. The cool thing about that day program that I worked at is the management let me bring my passions into work as a DSP. So I love to play music and I love making videos and being creative. And I was able to do all of that at that day program. So I ran the choir. I taught people how to play guitar. I taught people how to play drums. And it was just an incredible time. And the relationships that I built with the people that I served there last to this day. I mean, there are still people who call me and see how I'm doing and check in on my family. And it was just an incredible thing that completely changed the course really of my career. As we are in 2020 now, and I'm still in the field, I couldn't see myself working in any other field again. So that's where I started. I love it, and that's that. I have a beautiful family. I'm biased, but I think they're beautiful. I've got my wife, Emily. We've been married since 2011, so that first year that I started as a DSP, I also started being a husband, which are both extremely challenging jobs to have. And I have learned a lot over those years doing both of those roles. I have Rosalind, she's our oldest, she's 5, she's the blonde there. And then Lucy actually turns 4 tomorrow. So she'll be having a birthday tomorrow, and we're excited about that. And as you can see, we both have our little mini-me's. We've got one that looks like my wife and one that looks like me, which is crazy. And they're 13 months apart, which is also crazy. It's challenging, but also extremely fun to watch them grow up together, kind of the same age. And then in February, we found out that my wife is pregnant again with our 3rd, and that will be coming here in October. So we are fully in the swing of the third trimester, which is, as you guys probably know, a super fun time of your pregnancy is that third trimester. So we don't know what we're having. We've been surprised every time. So we'll see if I get a boy or if we have another girl, and then I'll be extremely outnumbered. Maybe I have to get a dog or something that's a guy dog that I can hang out with. But it's tons of fun. That's my family. I love to fish. I always say it's one of the only things that I do that's quiet. Everything else that I do is like loud and fast paced. And this is the one activity I have where I can just go out and just kind of recharge and be quiet. I have a boat and I take my family and friends out on it. And I just love spending time on the water. It is just one of the things that I love to do. And then also I love to play music. So this is a fun picture from my high school. I'm the one in the red there playing the black guitar. Like all high schoolers, I had that dream of being a rock musician and being a famous, band member. And that did not obviously happen. But I love playing music. I play guitar, I play drums, I play piano. I sing, but not really good, so I won't do that here. But yeah, this was just a picture of me in high school where it all began. So that's a little bit about me. Lastly, I'd love to share your stories. So I have a lot of jobs within my job as a public relations coordinator. I work a lot with websites. I do a lot of marketing plans. There's a lot of office work that I do. But my favorite thing to do always is to go out and film your stories. Every single time, I am encouraged to get to know you. The stories that you tell give me hope and encouragement, and I always leave there feeling way more fulfilled than whenever I'm just stuck in my office doing paperwork. So I love that part of my job quite a bit. So today we're going to be talking about the power of sharing your story. There is no other better way that I've found to connect to people and to share your story than through the medium of video or photos and social media. And so the first question that is asked is, why should you tell your story? So I kind of want to open that question up to you guys. Why do you think it's important for you to tell your own story to the world? Why is that an important thing? And you can use your chat or you can raise your hand and you can let me know.
I'm looking for any hands going up in the air. I think in a couple of instances, we have several people together in a room. Oh, there's Sue. Let me unmute Sue. Takes a second. Okay.
There we go.
Yes.
Can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay. Well, I'm Sue. I'm from Dark County. And John, you put together a great video for us. So we appreciate that. I think, the obvious answer, I guess, is that, we all work with advocacy and helping people, learn to use their voice. So I think, and stories, I think, are always a great way people can relate. When people tell their own story, a lot of times the listener can grab bits and pieces of that and relate it to themselves. So I think it's the perfect thing to, help our advocates share their experiences and help others.
That's great. That's awesome. So you pretty much wrote my point for me. Yes, you're right. When people share their story, the biggest thing is you connect with people who have those similar experiences. So let's say you got a job or you've been working really hard to find a job or find your own apartment, and you talk about kind of the struggles that you had to get to that point, and now you have that job or now you have that apartment. And if someone else can hear your story and hear that you've gone to the other side, yeah, that gives you hope. That gives you encouragement that, maybe I can do that. Maybe I can have that a job as well, or maybe I can do that thing or learn that skill. And so, yeah, when you open up and you share your story, you're connecting to other people, and those people can connect to you in a different way. And yeah, that's a huge piece of that. And same, just like what Sue said, advocating for yourself. There is no more better way to do this than to use your voice. We know that video is very powerful. We know that social media is a very powerful thing. And so when you advocate for yourself on film, or you advocate yourself in this way by telling your story and sharing your story, people connect to that. And it's just a powerful way for you to do that. Thirdly, assisting your county board. So we all know that county boards work really, really hard behind the scenes. So we don't know all the hours that are put in, the paperwork that's done, and all the work that they do behind the scenes to connect people with disabilities to their dreams. And one way that you can kind of help that is by sharing your story through that county board. You know, if there's more DSPs that are needed in a certain county, the strongest way that we can advocate for that is for you to share your story of, I'd really love to do this thing, but I need a direct support professional, or I need a provider in order to do that. That is such a powerful way for the community to be educated about these needs and about the things that are done. Also, because the county board does so much, it can be confusing for the community to understand all of the value that the county board has, all the things that the county board does. So when you get on film, or you tell your story and you share, I was able to do this thing, or I was able to connect, or I was able to find a friend, or get my own place. When you share all of the ways that the county board assists you, that helps educate the community as well about the value of that county board. We know that part of the funding that comes to the county boards that help them do all of the work that they do comes from your neighbors, through levies, through the people that you see at restaurants, through just the regular community. And the way that they will feel comfortable providing funds is by knowing all of the value that a county board does. And the biggest way that you can do that is by sharing your story as a person who has been affected by the county board, to share the value of that. And so that's just a huge way and a huge reason why you should share your story. Also, your voice matters. A lot of times whenever I'm talking to people about sharing their story or asking them if they would like to, a lot of times they say, I don't even know what I would say. I don't know if my voice even matters, if people would even listen to me. It's kind of, it makes you nervous to want to put yourself out there. And I just want you to know that your voice is the most powerful voice in our field. I can get Renee at Auglaize County to get on camera and talk about all the things that the county board needs, or all the things that people need that they serve. And it will not have nothing against Renee, but it will not have anything near the impact than when you use your own voice. I've seen it firsthand that when you share your own voice and you use your own voice, people listen. You never know who's going to be on social media and see that video. You never know who you can connect to as a person in your own community. And so whether or not you believe it, I want to tell you that your voice matters, and it matters a lot more than any of us that are sitting behind a desk. I mean, your voice is the one that matters. And so we want to give you that chance to use your voice in that way.
And guys, it took me like 25 tries to get that opening video, so you can do way better than that. Don't worry if you make a mistake.
Yes, that is true. Not 25, maybe 23 times. And then lastly, we all have a story to tell. Same thing. What would I say? What story do I have to share? I just got a normal life. I don't have much to share. We all have experiences that we've gone through. You have unique things that you've learned in your life. You have unique things that you have struggled through or overcame, and you have a story to tell just through sharing your experiences. And even just sharing the things that you love to do is a powerful way to share your story. And so again, even if you feel like you don't have anything magnificent or huge to share, you have a story, and your story will connect. Even if it's with just one person, that makes that story worth it. And so just know that your voice absolutely matters. It's a powerful voice when you use it. And then you also do have a story to tell, whether you believe it or not. So I want to share one example of what a story could look like. I interviewed Brittany a couple of months ago, and she was kind enough to sit down in front of a camera. And it was a nerve-wracking thing for her. It was tough for her to step out of her comfort zone to do that. But I wanted to share this story with you to kind of give you an example of what it looks like to share your story on camera. So we'll take a look at that, and then we'll dive a little bit into her story and talk about it a little bit.
My very first interest was when I saw my very first show, Sailor Moon, for the first time back in the 90s. And I was just very interested in the way the style of the art was constructed. I very much enjoyed the different little features of the characteristics of the cartoons. And so I would just practice and watch the shapes of the cartoons. And when I did, years later, I just practice makes perfect, and I got good at drawing anime. What I get is a sense of joy when I see someone smile and see my art. It also allows me to express myself. I like to take my art and go different from the normal average art of anime, you know, something that people will admire, and of course always make it true to myself. Something I've always believed in is that nothing good comes overnight. You have to take time and dedication to practice and to learn about it and use that knowledge to better yourself. The world and life is very unpredictable, but as long as we continue to be ourselves, and whether we are interested in music, whether we are interested in art, whether we're wreath makers, whether we're quilt makers, you know, or whatever whatever fascinates us, just always be true to you and continue to do what you love and you're passionate about. Don't judge a book by its cover. Unfortunately, because I'm so high functioning, and I come across as really normal to a lot of people. When I meet people, they don't think I'm disabled at first. They think I'm just a normal kid out of high school, but I do suffer from anxiety and depression. People with disabilities, we come out of great tribulations, great things that we've been through. When I was a little girl, unfortunately, I was abused in all shapes and forms. And you know, it was hard because that's what's created a lot of my disabilities, my anxieties, and the board of DD has been there for me tremendously. I went from a situation where I was living under some families' roofs, and I wanted to be independent. I wanted to get out of it. I knew that for me to succeed in life, I had to be independent. The board believed in me, and they saw potential in me. They saw someone who had been broken. There's this Japanese art that is real famous right now. It's where they take broken pottery and put seals in it. And the underlining message of this art is that just because you come from a broken state and place does not define who you are. It actually, your brokenness makes you beautiful. And so the board of DD has helped me to get my own apartment. I've even been able to reestablish peaceful relations with my family. I've been able to also be stronger as a disabled, independent woman. I have learned how to interact with people now, what's appropriate and what's inappropriate. And I've learned to socialize. I do have mild autism, and it's been a start of a horrible life, but ended in a great adventure in life, because even though you come from some crazy backgrounds does not mean that you can't come out of it and succeed in life. It's good to advocate for not only people with disabilities, but even people who've been through abuse. This world is constantly changing, and sometimes not even for the better. And we need to hear inspiring stories of people who have lived through things that other people say they've been through, and there's just so much hatred. I could hate everybody in the book for what I've been through, but I don't. I realize that love and forgiveness is essential to not only the people around you, but for you to succeed as a person. I can be who I want to be now without having to feel like the things I've been through weighs me down. There are days I still get depressed over things. It's an ongoing battle, but it does not defy who I am. So my message for people is just don't judge a book by its cover. Always see the quality in the book of the person. Don't try to see what shows on the front of the cover. I have a piece that's for sale, so if anybody is ever interested, it is for $45. I feel that's fair because I paid quite a bit for the frame and the intense work that it takes to draw a sketch. Yeah, so if anybody's ever interested, that's not a problem.
Renee, can you unmute John?
Perfect. Right. Sorry, I muted myself and didn't realize I'm not allowed to unmute myself. So Brittany was great. It was great to sit down with her. She's with Preble County Board of DD. And so that was one example of what it looks like to kind of sit down and share your story. And I want to kind of unpack her story a little bit and get your feedback as well. And so first, what did you guys learn about Brittany, or what did you learn, or what can you take away from Brittany's story?
And you can use the chat or kind of give a wave, and I'm just trying to keep an eye on things. So Julie's watching also.
Yeah, we would love to hear from you.
Yeah. And I know a lot of people don't know Brittany, and so even just something new that you learned about her.
I think I'm trying to unmute John. Looks like I saw a hand go up there. But I'm not having much luck with the unmute. Let me try again here. Oops, what did I do? Sorry, John.
If you want to make me host, I can try to do it from my end as well.
Okay.
Technology.
Yes, this is, everybody can see all my wonderful technical skills. So I was trying to unmute John Hannah.
Okay. Let's take a look here.
Not able to do that.
And I am trying to find John Hannah on the screen. I see Jonathan Moyer. If you want to use the chat, you can as well. There's John. So John, you're going to have to physically unmute yourself now that I've asked you. Oh, shoot.
Oh, help might be on the way here to help John get unmuted.
So a little thing should pop up that says the host wants you to unmute.
There we go.
There we go.
Now can you hear me?
Nailed it. Got it, John.
All right. I have enough sense to be dangerous, but not enough to be productive. I learned that she is a good artist and she never gave up on herself.
Yeah.
And it's something that you live, you make 1 minute count, and then 1 minute makes your day count, and your day makes your life count.
That's awesome. That's great.
And then could you send me a map of the 12 counties that Westcon's in? Jenny White has my email.
Sure thing.
Do you have Jenny White's email?
I don't. Let me write it down for you.
I can get you that, John.
You got it? Okay. Thanks, Julie. That's awesome. John, what's one way that you can apply that to your life? What's a way that you said that you learned that she likes art, but she also learned how to like persevere? What's something in your life that you can do after hearing her story?
Well, I couldn't do it, but that's where we're not fit into a thing. You got to do what you do best, and art isn't my best thing, but memory and trying to be with people is, I think, the gift. But now don't hand me the Ben Gay for patting myself on the back. and all.
That's awesome. That's great.
We had
And
a,
then is Kristen Smith on the line?
There she is.
She's
Yeah.
waving to you, John.
Hi, Kristen. Is Jessica Gillison on the line?
I don't think Jess is with us today.
What's your name?
My name's Julie. I'm with Auglaize County.
Okay.
I was
Nice
going
to
to
meet-
read a few of the things that people were typing in the chat box as well. What a beautiful story. Thanks to John and Brittany for sharing. Her story is powerful. Her ability to forgive has allowed her to find joy in her life, and which is a wonderful takeaway for all of us. And then also Bianca said, I don't know her, but I learned to just keep going forward and just be you and to enjoy what you enjoy doing, and don't let someone else upset you or get to you in any way. And to forgive is powerful, and that she's an artist, and a very talented artist, as we all saw.
That's awesome. Thank you guys for sharing that. Was there anything that you connected with her? Is there anything in her story? You know, she shared some pretty tough parts as well. She shared about the abuse that she went through and how she had to deal with that. She talked about, overcoming that adversity. Can you guys relate to any of that? Is there anything that you've gone through that's similar to that maybe you can say, I've been there before, I'm in that right now, or I can relate to something that she said. Was there anything like that in her story that you connected to?
Kind of looking to see if I see a hand wave or anything. A couple of people mentioned forgiveness, and I think that's an active thing. You don't just forgive once, it's something you keep working at. I don't know if anyone else has had that experience. You can wave your hand or use the chat box if anybody wants to say anything. Bianca said she connected with that, the forgiveness. And capabilities in Lima, Stephanie shared with her group that she enjoyed Brittany's story and that she can relate with her anxiety.
Yeah, that's great.
So a lot of things to relate to, it looks like.
Yeah. And then I'll just ask one more of these. Thank you guys for being open also and sharing those pieces as well. As you heard her story, do you think that it was easy for her to do that, to sit down and to share that story? Or do you think it was hard for her to do that? And why? Why do you think that?
One person wrote through her story, through Brittany's story, that this person has hope now.
Awesome. That's great. And that makes it worth it. Even if just one person can find hope from that person's story, that makes the whole entire process worth it. So we'll go ahead and move forward. And we're going to say, here's an example of how to tell your story. We know why we want to share our story and all the reasons as to why. And some of those reasons why you want to share your story may also be personal. But how do you do that? How do I actually sit down and do that? And what are some practical ways that I can share my story in a way that will connect with other people and will make an impact for myself and my peers and my community? And the first thing that you need to do is just be honest and open with your story. That's something that Brittany did really, really well. Not all of her story was just roses. Some of it was difficult. Some of it was not easy to share. And she could have held on to that part of her story. She could have not shared that with the world, but she chose to press into that. And she chose to be honest and open about the whole part of her story. And whenever she did that, that allowed even someone within our group to find hope through her story. If she would have held on to those things, that piece would not have connected with people. And so when you sit down to tell your story, we know that it's difficult. It's not easy for all of us to share all of who we are, and it's not easy for us to share some of the struggles that we've had. But whenever you do that, that's really when that door opens to be able to connect with other people and reach people with hope. And so the first thing to do whenever you're telling your story is just to be open and honest about your story. Secondly, there's no right or wrong way to tell your story. Renee can know whenever I sit down and record video, I don't guide or I don't try to manipulate or put an angle on your story. Renee can say the same sentence 17 times and we'll just pick whichever one was the best one. There is no right or wrong. Don't feel like you have to be able to sit down in that chair with the lights and the microphone and the camera and you have to say this perfect, beautiful story. You don't, just remove that pressure from yourself and just sit down and tell your story in any way that you want to tell it, however you want to tell it. And then my job is just to organize your thoughts. And that's pretty much all I do as an editor. But just know that you have that freedom to be able to tell your story in any way that you want to tell it. Thirdly, remember why. You know, we went through that list of the reasons why you want to share your story. Some of those may be personal, but remembering why you want to share your story will give you the confidence and the ability to kind of push through those hard times to be able to share your story. If I know that if I share this hard part about my story, if I remember that, I can connect with somebody or give somebody else hope. That's going to allow me to be able to share my story and not hold back that piece.
And John,
yeah,
we just had that come up. You mentioned confidence, and with Capabilities, the Lima Community Club, they just shared, through her story, I have hope, and I would love to have her confidence.
Yeah, see, that's huge. Yes.
I agree. And maybe it's, you know, sharing your story that gives you confidence. John jokes around, but I really sometimes do have to repeat the same sentence 17 times to get it right.
Yeah.
And it's easier when I'm just talking about what I do, about my job, or, you know, whatever's happening. It's a lot easier to do that than it is to try to memorize something. And I think it comes across more honestly and probably more confident, because I'm not worried in the back of my head if I missed a word or forgot this. It's just more real when you're just sharing how you feel and sharing your story.
Yes. Yeah, that's a great point. And that helps you to be open as well. We always worry that we're going to forget to say something or we're going to miss out on a piece. But when you're just naturally sharing your story, the pieces that matter will come out of you, because those are the pieces that are on the front of your mind and the pieces that you want to share. And then lastly, have fun. Like the way that I kind of approach shooting that video is I try to make it a relaxed environment. I try to joke. I try to have fun. Just my natural way that I am is I like to joke around. And so I want this experience to be something that you can have fun doing. And it's not just this stressful piece where I've got these lights on you and I'm grilling you and I'm asking you questions. I want it to be a fun thing. And then also, one of the things that I love to do is to, whenever the video is done, I love to watch the person see themselves on screen for the first time. There's something that happens when you get to see yourself on a big screen or on Facebook, or if it's on a big projector or whatever it is. I love to do that because there's something fun about you seeing yourself on that screen. And so I like to give that opportunity for a lot of people whenever they're sharing your story. So just remember, be honest and open. There's no right or wrong way to share your story. Remember the reasons why you're telling your story, and then just have fun with it. Just enjoy the process of sharing your story. And talking about fun, I wanted to share just one more video with you. And this is of Jacob, which a lot of you guys probably know Jacob. He's very active in this group. I don't know if he's here or not today. But I was able to sit down with him. He's from Logan County Board of DD, and he was a lot of fun. Like we joked together, we got to know each other during the interview, and he shared his story in a very, very fun way. So I wanted to share kind of what that looks like, and also just let you guys see Jacob as well on screen. So I'll press play. Oop.
I work at RTC Industries and I work at Goodwill. I buy stuff and I take donations. The county board helped me get a job out in the community. Well, I do a good job at my job at Goodwill, and been working there 4 years, been working here 6 years. I enjoy it. Going to advocacy meetings, project store meetings. Project store is where they help you to speak up for yourself and to speak up for others. Everybody has to speak up for themselves. It's kind of hard to speak up for yourself, but actually it's not. It's easy if you could do it. People watching this video, don't be afraid to speak up for yourself. I'm a trainer now. I moved up one. It's like climbing up. It's like climbing up the steps, you know. I'm in Action Club. I was the president, but now I'm the vice president. That's the reason. That's the reason why I got gray hair. In Action Club, we take out the trash. Pick up trash. Take out the trash. I was like, well, wait a minute. Help out people with buddy benches, little free library books. Man, that's a mouthful. I tell you what, if it wasn't for these advocacy conference, me and Shelby would never met. I saw a synergy a long time ago. It was 2017 when me and her started dating. She's very nice, by the way. She calls me honey, babe. She can't even remember my name. It's a joke.
You just saw her and you thought,
I think I know what you're thinking. I know what you're thinking. When I first saw her, I was like, I was like, it's like my heart was like pounding on my chest. I participate in advocacy meetings. We do it every month. Tomorrow is the regional advocacy meeting in Alglaze County. I wonder why they call it Alglaze County. It sounds like something like a donut. It's like something that has a donut shop. Glazed donut. I went to the International Kiwanis Convention in down in Florida. First airplane ride, oh man. I tell you what, it's like going in a rocket ship to outer space, you know? I was sitting near the window, and now I've never been on a plane before, and I was scared of heights. I was like literally scared of, like when they took off, I looked, and there we go.
way up in the sky.
Way up in the sky. Thank you for making my life awesome. I mean, without the county board, I wouldn't be going to Florida or all that stuff. And now the county board has like helped me to do these things that I want to do. I nailed it.
Yes, you did.
And especially these lights, they're blinding my eyes.
Oh, I'm still connected. All right. Yeah, Jacob. I tell you, I've probably seen that video 75 times. I editing it and everything, and it still makes me smile every single time that I watch it. Jacob did a great job. He was a great example of just having fun with the process. And again, I let him tell whatever story he wanted to tell. I wasn't going to take out his story. I let him share the pieces that he wanted to share. Great example of there's no right or wrong. You can say whatever your story is, and that brings joy to the world. That brings hope to the world. And then another piece was, even throughout all that fun, it still came out that without the county board, he wouldn't have been able to go to Florida. He wouldn't have been able to meet his girlfriend without these regional advocacy meetings. And so it was still a way that if someone that's not connected to this field at all watches that video, they now have learned, wow, the county board of DD helped this person be a part of all of these groups, have his jobs, meet a girlfriend, go to Florida. All of those things happen because he had this team around him through providers and county boards. And so he was just great fun. I hope you guys enjoyed seeing that video. Also, you can find all of these videos online as well. We can send an email afterwards with links to these videos where you can watch those and share those online also. But we just thought Jacob did a great job. So you've seen why you want to share your story. You've seen how to share your story. You've seen examples of stories. And you say, you know what? I would like to do that. I could see myself on the big screen. I have something to say to the world. Now what? How do you even go about that process? So very simple. All you need to do is just tell someone that you want to share your story and we'll get you connected. And so tell your SSA, your team, your county board, your provider, tell the DSP you're with right now or your provider who you're with right now and say, I want to tell my story. And they will help get you connected to the right places. Luckily, I think I cover all the counties that are in this group as well. So they'll connect to me as well. You can reach out directly to me on my email is right there. So if you want to share your story and come out and shoot a video of you, you can always reach out to me directly and I'll get you in contact either with the county board or your provider and we can work to get your story out there. I know that they're always looking for stories and for you to share that out there. And so without a doubt, we can get something going for you to be able to use your voice, advocate for yourself, connect to other people and work with your county board as well. So, is there any questions or comments or feedback or anything that you guys learned that you wanted to share? This is your time to kind of just open up and share anything that you would like to say as we close out.
Capabilities, I think, had their hand up, but they may have typed it in then.
Great. Great. Yep, we can get the links for the videos out to you as well. Great. Any other questions or anything else? Do you guys have any thoughts or questions about what it is to share your story or you want to share your story or anything like that?
I think Sam has something, Sam Simon there.
Great, let me take a look. Where is he at? Let me find him.
We're gonna get you unmuted, Sam. Hang tight.
There you go. So go ahead and click the button to unmute. There you go.
Hi, I'm Sam Simon. I want to do that. Open my story. I want to.
Great. That's awesome.
I want to talk to my kids local. I want to talk to my story, what I go through.
Yeah.
I want to.
Okay, Sam, we'll be in touch. We'll try to get something set up, okay?
That's awesome.
Okay. You guys know my kids local?
Yep. You're here in All Glaze, right?
You do? Yes. Yes. At New Bremen.
Yes. We'll get you set up.
Awesome. Thanks for being willing to share, Sam.
Okay.
That's great.
Anybody else have anything?
All right. Well, if you come up with anything or you have any questions or anything like that, you can always reach out to me. This is one of my favorite parts of my job, is sharing your stories. And so thanks to Auglaize County for asking me to be a part of this today. And yeah, hope you guys have a great rest of your day. I'll turn it over to Julie to close this out.
Yeah, just a couple things. So before we end today, so for September is the conference. It's actually a month from today. It's on a Friday, but it's the 25th of September, 10 to 12. So it'll be 10 in the morning to noon. It'll be a little different than the other years, just like everything right now. Excuse me. So it will be a Zoom meeting just like this. We do have some exciting speakers that we're going to welcome in, and we're looking forward to that. So we're working on all the little details and we'll get that out to you. One thing we thought would be fun would be to go ahead and wear your shirts from other years. So if you have a shirt from a year that you've attended in the past, go ahead and wear one of those shirts. We thought that would be fun to do since we didn't get to do new shirts this year. Does anyone else have anything to add about conference? Think of anything? All right. I think that's probably it, unless anyone has anything else to add. We're excited you could join us today. Hope you enjoyed the videos and listening to John's story and how we can all work together. I think that's it then. Enjoy the rest of your day.